What's going on, everybody? Monkey Demon 109, and this is Assassin's Creed Revelations. So we're still trying to mix it up a little bit. This is still deathmatch, but it's simple deathmatch. So it being simple means that there's no abilities, there's no perks, there's no streaks, which should imply that it is a little bit harder to get really high-scoring gameplays. That kind of depends on what you consider high scoring. For me, high scoring for me is like anything over 6,000 in deathmatch, and I've been able to hit that a couple times while I was playing this session. Not this game specifically, but other games, I have been able to hit that mark, and so it's definitely possible to get good scoring gameplays. It's just you need to be playing against people who don't know what they're doing at all, or they're just having the worst luck in the world. But anyway, so what this also means, sorry, I didn't even say the map. The map is Souk, which I've learned from one of my subscribers and my friends. And so actually what ended up happening was that I'm just going to call him Cause. So Cause told me how this map is pronounced, and then for the next like 30 minutes my other couple friends decided to make fun of me. So that's what I get for not really researching on how these places are supposed to sound. But anyway, Souk is the map. Simple deathmatch. This is the gesture that I'm using, and there's a couple things that I want to mention. So the first thing is Xbox Live, chat or whatever. So I am in Xbox Live with a couple of my friends, and you might be able to hear them in the background. I'm not really too sure how easy it's going to be heard. And right here, the Centennial is chasing my target, so I get the easy stun because the Centennial doesn't know what he's doing. But anyway, so when your friends are talking to you, or when other players in your same lobby are talking, you can't hear the game volume anymore. So you can't hear whispers, you can't hear footsteps and all that. So it's a lot harder to play because you don't have that sound. But at the same time, you could probably play this with absolutely no sound and do pretty well, just based off eyesight. Auditory stuff is really just like an extra benefit, just to make things a little bit easier. But in general, I think you can play this just eyesight. So my friend here is going to introduce the next topic for me.
God, I almost didn't notice you.
Really?
Just joking. You were bright as the sun.
Alright, so the next topic is going to be your character selection during these games. So, like let's say for like Manhunt or Artifact Assault or something like that, where it's a team-based game, in general, there's only like two personas that are going to be, that you're going to really want to pay attention to. There's your persona and your opponent's persona, and that's really it. I mean, there's no other possible thing that you could be worried about or looking for. And it's the same thing in Deathmatch. It's just with more people. So, for instance, like I have one pursuer right now. You can tell that by the red triangle on the top left. I have one pursuer right now, so they're looking for the only jester on this map, and there's only going to be one because I don't have any abilities to blend or morph or disguise or anything like that. So they're looking for the only jester, and that's why choosing the only guy with a bright orange jumpsuit is probably not the best option. So just kind of pay attention to who you're choosing and why you're choosing them. I mean, you can do perfectly well with like the Gladiator or something. It really shouldn't matter all that much. It's just that you're a little bit easier to spot. That's really your main concern. So for instance, like in the beginning of this game, when I first started to play, I could not tell the difference between most of the female characters. So like I have the Corsair right now. I would always get her confused with the Courtesan or the Vanguard or Trickster or whoever. And it was just because like they looked really similar to me at the time. And so I kept on killing the wrong people or stunning the wrong people because I had no idea who was going after me or who I was going after. But after a while, I start to get these personas down a little bit better. I start to understand what they look like and all that a little bit more now that I've played this enough. And so yeah, so in the long run, it shouldn't really matter. But if you're like a skinny little female character in like dark clothing, you're probably less noticeable than a skinny little clown in a bright orange jumpsuit. So yeah, just be aware of that. So that's really the only two things I wanted to talk about was one, the sound and how talking to your friends or talking to people in the lobby can affect it, and two, choosing your persona, like who you want to choose. So here the deacon gets a kill, interrupts my kill, and I don't get the hidden because I guess I wasn't in a hidden group that entire time, and I didn't really want to move. And yeah, so I'm in this group, and even though I can't like morph anybody or do anything like that, like nobody will be blended. There will be no other jesters in this group at any time because I'm the only jester in this game. I want to be in here because it's less noticeable to be staying still in a group, like in a preformed group, than it is to be walking around on your own. And it's less noticeable to be walking around in a group than it is to be walking around on your own. A lot of times I just walk around on my own. Like right now, I just broke away from the group because I want to go in a specific path. And so I need to find my target. So here's my target right here. I think he suspects me. So since he's going to the ledge, I decided to rush him, get the reckless kill. Was it reckless? Yeah, reckless kill. So I decided to rush him because I was afraid that if I kept on walking up to him, he'd notice it, and he would jump off and use the chase breaker. And I'd be pretty screwed because he would just be looking for a jester the entire time, and he would, he'd be on a completely opposite side of the map, and I'd have to re-find him. So at best case scenario, I'd have to go around this path that I'm going right now. And you'll see me do this like jogging thing too at some people. And here I think I should have gotten the cornerstone, but Centennial gets me. And you'll see me like rush people sometimes when they're my pursuers. And so what that ends up doing is that hopefully if they're not spamming the kill, you can get a naked stun if you like jog up to them the last second and punch them in the face, because then they're not really expecting it, right? So that's a strategy I like to use a lot. And here I'm trying to check my surroundings. The Corsair, the courtesan's cousin, I think suspects me, but she might have also just been going for a pursuer. I'm not really sure. But I get the kill, get the stun, because the deacon looks super suspicious, so I get to punch him in the face. And yeah, so far I haven't found a problem. And here I'm like spamming kill and B just in case if he becomes my pursuer or if I become his pursuer. So I was just doing that, and he didn't become either, so it was all good. And here I don't know how my karate chop failed me because the Centennial is busy. But that brings up a good point. So like you just saw there, the Centennial they stunned the wrong person, and then he's still able to kill me. So he's probably just spamming kill without locking on. What am I even talking about? He just stunned a person and then he's going to kill me. So he stunned, and then as he saw me come up, he's probably just spamming the kill button. That's the same thing that I did to the Deacon and the Corsair. So I killed the Corsair, and then the Deacon came up, and I was just spamming B. And I think you can do that. I think that there's no real like repercussions for you if you're spamming something while you're in a kill or stun animation. Because you can like drop abilities and stuff. And watch this. So I saw my Deacon over there. So I'm sprinting up, but instead of sprinting up in like the middle of nowhere, I sprint up closer to a wall. What this does is that it ensures that you're not going to be in their line of sight while you're sprinting. So you won't, like, your little silent meter on the bottom left of their portrait won't diminish while you're sprinting up to them. So you're closing the gap. and they won't get that LT thing, that quick lock on. Right? So good to go. As far as I know, you can spam stun, you can spam kill while you're in an animation, and there won't be repercussions. Because I do know that if you drop like smoke bomb and you're trying to spam stun at the same time as you're dropping, then you're probably gonna mess up. You're like gonna punch and then they're gonna dodge out of the way, or it's not. Just nothing's gonna happen. And that's actually been happening to me a lot recently. So I need to work on my timing for smoke bomb and then stun. But yeah, okay, so 3 things, quick recap. Audio, it's harder to hear people when you're talking to people on Xbox Live or whatever. Visual, don't shoot somebody who looks just extremely obvious in simple deathmatch because there's none of your other personas around. And stuns and kills, you can just spam that away. So see you later, and thanks for stopping by.